Neo-Puritanism in Politics and Social Media. Puritanism, the beliefs or principles of a group of English Protestants of the late 16th and 17th centuries who regarded the reformation of the Church under Elizabeth I as incomplete and sought to simplify and regulate forms of worship. In this age of technology, one would expect to see communication and free speech thriving. And although in some ways it is, I have seen where it begins to get restricted. My question is, when does socially unacceptable language become unacceptable? When are relatively normal words molded into such a way that it may offend others? I by no means talk about the obviously discriminatory words like the N word and the like. However, when such language is changing daily, it becomes hard to distinguish inoffensive words with offensive ones. Example 1: Amy Coney Barre hearings for Supreme Court Justice. Context: during the hearing to approve of Amy Coney Barre as a Supreme Court Justice, she stated, "I don't discriminate against anyone on the basis of sexual preference." Did you catch that? Can you see what is offensive in that sentence? The answer are those two last words: sexual preference. The apparent correct way to say this is sexual orientation. Do you see the problem? These two words were taken through social media, wherein she was targeted and harassed. The very next day, she had to come out and apologize for her wording. When a word used in everyday life is suddenly offensive to another person under a specific context, and the person immediately reacts aggressively, that means there is a social problem. There are two ways to fix this. One is not very good, and the other is decent depending on people. One option is to live in fear of your own words, checking and double checking what you say in public to avoid being targeted. This is not a good solution. The First Amendment makes it so that we all have the freedom of speech. The solution would directly contradict it. The second option would be to speak truthfully and in the occasion that words come out as offensive, to inform the other rather than attack him. By yielding any unaware offenses our neighbors say and instead teach them the correct wording, only then can society once again advance. The goal of this podcast is not to change minds or decide what you need to do. Instead, I'm looking to expand or broaden others' perspectives on this subject. I am aware that my example is a political one. However, I chose to overlook anything else and instead focus on what got her targeted: her wording. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.